this episode of Horse Shelter Heroes.
Caitlin and I are getting everything together for some castrations we're doing today.
We just had 20 horses delivered.
So they just dropped off the old tractor. The front differential on it is just completely shot.
We've got a few horses lined out, and then we've got a bunch of donkeys that we might be doing under sedation.
So this morning we were able to give Chip and Sapphire some turnout time today.
Well, we're up here on the other side of Pasture 10, putting in a new pasture, new quarantine pasture.
We've got the septic tank guys here today putting in our septic tank.
We really needed to upgrade our ultrasound system, and we had an incredible donor who helped us raise the funds for this.
Yeah, she is broke to ride. She is a little on the slower side, so she'd be good just to get back into riding.
You don't want to miss a single second of Horse Shelter Heroes.
Caitlin and I are getting everything together for some castrations we're doing today. We have over 20 donkeys and horses that need castration. So it's going to be a 2-day process at least, especially since we have some horses that are being intake today. So we're going to do the best that we can with everybody we have. Going to get it all done.
So we're about to go up into quarantine this Monday morning. We're going to try and get through as many castrations as we can before our new arrival of horses. We're getting between 15 to 20 something horses in this morning. So we're going to try and get as many castrations done as we can before those horses come in case there are any criticals that immediately need us.
Today is a bonkers day, 78 intake day, end of June, and then we had 21, and now we have another 20 coming in today, and we're super backed up on our castrations. Normally we do surgeries and follow-up stuff the week after buyout, but we've had more horses continue coming in. So also normally I wouldn't do large animal surgeries the morning that we have more horses coming in. We have an hour and a half before we've got 20 horses coming in, but we're so behind that we need to make progress. So we're moving panels so that we can maintain separate quarantine groups. We're gonna get through at least one, hopefully maybe 2 castrations this morning before our next group comes in. We have a lovely sorrel kind of palomino looking boy named Dutton. And then we have a little mini mule named Hamlet. And they are our first 2 patients of the day. So neither one of them are handleable. So we've got them set up so we can run them through the chute, give them their drugs, and then we'll run them out into this area here to do the castration and recovery.
So our first castration patient today is Dutton, and he is in the chute when we're waiting for him to get ready for his pre-anesthetic drugs and get sleepy.
If you'd like to see Dutton's castration surgery in more detail, please go to our YouTube channel, Horse Plus Vets.
Dutton did great. His castration was very routine. He is in recovery now. He didn't experience any hemorrhage. We didn't find any hernias.
Luckily for Hamlet, once we anesthetized him and looked at him really closely, it appears that he was already castrated prior to intake, which that resulted in the swelling that we assumed were his testicles. So we're letting him wake up, we're letting Dutton wake up, and then we're gonna take down our castration supplies and bring up the rest of our intake supplies.
So they just dropped off the old tractor. The front differential on it is just completely shot. From what they said, everything in there is just kind of turned into a big pile of metal. So it's gonna cost too much money to fix, way too much than what the tractor is worth, or way more than what the tractor is worth. So we are currently fundraising to try to get a new tractor. If you could help in any way, please give us a call or go to our website. There's a donate button. We really need this equipment in order to do everything that needs to happen here on the rescue. I mean, we use it every single day for putting out hay, for unloading pallets. We just have way too many uses for it not to have it. So please, if you can, help us out.
So the trailer with the 20 equines, which is 19 horses and we think 1 donkey, is pulling up now, and we're super excited to get work on intake done.
We just had 20 horses delivered. This is part of that. It was originally 35 horses that needed to come here, otherwise the alternative is the slaughterhouse. So reached out to one of our donors. She covered it. This is outside of our normal buyout, and I don't want to exhaust our donors, and thankfully she covered it. And then we were approached like, hey, there's room for us to bring 5 more instead of 15. And I reached out to her this morning, and she did cover the other 5 horses. So I just want to thank you so much. You know who you are, and we couldn't do this without you. We are changing gears. There's a lot of castration stuff going on. We have a lot of stallions this time. Stallions definitely get tossed around the slaughter pipeline. I know there was a horse trader kill buyer that was convicted and caught, and they put him on the stand, and he was confessing all the tricks they did to stallions to ship them to the slaughter pipeline. And one of them was you put a halter on and they would wire their mouth shut so they couldn't bite other horses. And if they were bucking and kicking out at other horses, they'd actually take a BB and shoot them in the eye. So the slaughter pipeline is so incredibly horrific, and I'm just glad these horses are here and we'll get them the help they need.
Thank you. Curly face. This mare is about 12 years old. I think she's a quarter horse. She has complete 100% blindness in her left eye and about 90% blindness in her right eye. Her eyes both seem to be painful. She's got squinting and tearing. She's got a severe old injury on her right hind leg. She won't even let me touch it. Unfortunately, it's resulted in what we call string halt, which usually results from scarring of the soft tissue apparatus so that she severely, when she walks, she jerks that leg up high. And it usually is irreversible because it means she's got nerves involved as well as soft tissue. She's only 12 years old. She's a lovely mare. I don't know what happened to her, but somebody did not care for her. Her heart rate is elevated. She has had some pain medications. I don't think that we can fix this painful leg, and we don't want her to suffer. She also would likely need surgery to remove both of her eyes, which is a lot to handle. So if it was just one problem, we might have a better outcome, but with multiple severe comorbidities, our chances of getting her healthy and comfortable are low.
It's really, really sad is horses like this are shipped to slaughter all the time. You have injured horses. As long as there's no like open wound on these horses, USDA will inspect them and pass them for slaughter. And horses like this, incredible pain, go into the slaughter pipeline. There's no oversight to ensure that horses are being transported out of the United States humanely. It's at a department that's completely overlooked everywhere. And it's really, really sad that, somebody has a horse and they can sell it because it has a slaughter price on its head. And it's basically rewarding abuse and neglect and suffering. Because horses like this, they should have gone straight to the vet. The vet should have put them down. Instead, they can sell them for slaughter. And thankfully for this guy, he's been intercepted, but there's nothing we're able to do. And that's heartbreaking, other than just to be here and say goodbye. And he knows that somebody cared at the end. And that's why the slaughter pipeline needs to end. So please support the SAFE Act.
We just got this gelding through. He does need some farrier care. He's got a little bit of eye boogers going on there, but all in all, I believe he is healthy. He is about 10 years old. So we're gonna go ahead and let him decompress and see how he does in the training program.
So we just got done up here in quarantine with the 20 equines that we got. We had 19 horses and 1 donkey. Quite a few of them, unfortunately, had advanced compounding diseases together that were really heartbreaking that we had to make last act of kindness calls on. But we have quite a few that we're really hopeful will pull through and can make it to adoption and their forever homes. Some of them are really young and super cute. So that's the kind of things that keep us going. It wouldn't have been able to be done without the help of everybody donating and supporting us in this mission. So thank you guys, everybody, for helping us to save as many horses as we can.
I've been on the front lines of animal rescue for over 20 years. I have been going to auctions and I have seen horrible things happen to horses. In 20 years of rescue, nothing has really changed. It's come to the realization that we can't just rescue horses from auctions. We can't just keep rescuing horses out of the slaughter pipeline. We have to stop it once and for all. It's time that a federal law gets put in place, and we are going to Washington, D.C. on a regular basis to try to advocate for horses. What I find in Washington, D.C. is a lot of people have no idea what's actually happening to horses. And I leave these meetings hearing their voices say, "We didn't know that this was so important. Thank you so much for coming and telling us the reality of what's happening to horses." Our advocacy for different acts impacting horse welfare is so critically important. So please donate. Help us change the laws for horses on a federal level.
Go play with some horses. All right, we're about to start our hoof care for today. We've got a few horses lined out, and then we've got a bunch of donkeys that we might be doing under sedation post-castration. This is Fancy. She's our first victim for the day, and we're about to get started on her. Fancy's good. Feet aren't looking too bad. Behave quite nicely. Pretty little horse too. This is Artemis. We're about to trim his feet. Looks like he's needing it. He's got a, I want to say Dr. Lydia said it was a Pasture fracture. I'm coming in late to this one, so I could be wrong on that. But definitely signs of something like that. But she said said he's sound and his feet don't look like they're in too terrible shape. So we're gonna get him trimmed up and see how he does. Overall, pretty good, pretty good. His wall's a bit shorter than his sole, but it looks strong. I think it's just been chipping. Either that or it's possible that he had a trim job that was maybe a little bit overzealous at some point recently. It's hard to tell. In a few spots, it looks like he was kind of dubbed off, but I don't see any causes for concern with his feet. They're pretty generally strong and healthy. Just finished up with Artemis here. He's a good boy, didn't give us any trouble. His feet are all looking pretty solid. She's looking like she's got a little bit of a mess going on down here, so we'll have to investigate this, see what it requires. Probably not as bad as it looks though. She's definitely cracking and peeling though. So you can tell she's definitely like, if you get like a side profile shot, you can see how badly this hoof wall is just kind of dishing out. That's a sign it's pretty weak. And then if you get up here in the toe, where I've kind of found this foot and dressed back through it a little bit, you can see all these layers between where it's just kind of like peeling apart. So that's definitely not what we like to see. It's gonna make it very difficult for her to actually build up any concavity, because the second that her hoof wall is taking load, it's just kind of bending and splitting. That's not a great foot. Doesn't mean she can't be comfortable and sound. It just means it's gonna take a lot of maintenance. Probably long-term, she'd be a good candidate for some sort of shoe to give her some support. because her hoof wall is definitely not doing that. Overall, not terrible though. No signs of white line disease, not real thrushy or anything. Just conformationally a poor foot, but not unhealthy. All right, we just got done with Jody here. She behaved herself like a lady. Her front feet could definitely use a little bit of help, maybe some shoes later on down the road, something I'd recommend, but she trimmed up pretty good, and she's easy to work on, so that goes a long way. Just finished Mercy in here. We had her on a real light sedation. She did pretty good. She's a little bit touchy, but we were slow and gentle with her, and she did fine. Feet aren't looking too bad either. All right, well, I'm wrapping up here for the day. We started with some down at the training barn, busted through a couple, and then went up to quarantine. Dr. Lydia and Dr. Gina were working up there for a little bit and doing some castration, so I jumped in there and got some trims done when donkeys were asleep, and that went really well. I think we got 10 trimmed today, so it's a good solid day, and I'm out of here.
This handsome boy is Chip. Chip came in with a really large wound over his withers, and he's been down here in our vet hospital. He's scheduled for a full bath today. Haley and Caleb are gonna give him a bath, and after that, he's gonna have his fovea treatment on his withers, and then we'll put some more antimicrobials on it. It's hard to tell because it's kind of gunked up right now, but we're seeing positive progress. This wound is contracting well. We've got healthy epithelial tissue that's coming over to close. He is gonna have a scar there, but he's gaining weight, and overall, I'm really happy with his progress.
It's a medicated foam spray. It has anti-inflammatory properties in it, so we're just using it on his whole body just to make sure. It also protects against fleas and ticks. So there's benefits, and it smells good. Right now I am getting Chip's fovea treatment ready. So this just helps the healing process speed up a little bit. So we're gonna apply the gel to his withers and then fovea light him. The glasses protect us because these are really strong UV rays. So it reduces our chances of getting like eye cancer and everything, but it's completely safe around the horses. But yeah, us human eyes can't handle it that well. So, but we'll see how it goes. So we finished Chip's treatment. We gave him a nice bath. We did his fovea treatment. His withers are starting to look really a lot better. So we're gonna go put him back in the stall and see what else we can get ourselves into. Ow, that is my toe, and he likes stepping on my feet.
Our old Kubota tractor had worked really, really hard, and we're so thankful that we had it, but it gave up the ghost pretty much, and it's not usable. So right now we're completely without a tractor, but we are so blessed to have a new tractor, and we are so excited. This tractor actually has better lifting capabilities, and so it's an upgrade from our other tractor. And thank you so much to all those who have donated for it. We can't believe how quickly this need was met. You are all so amazing. Thank you so much.
We are so grateful to Massey Ferguson for donating a huge percentage of this tractor. They gave us about a 50% discount, which is so incredibly generous. We did go to John Deere and ask them about any discounts. They're like, nope, we don't do that. Kubota did offer a small discount, but Massey Ferguson really just surprised us with their generosity. And now we have this brand new tractor. It still has a tag on the tire. It's so new. And we're so incredibly grateful. I'd like to thank everyone who donated towards replacing the tractor. And then two wonderful ladies, you know who you are, contributed quite heavily for us to get this new tractor, and this was a really big need that is now filled thanks to our wonderful donors and Massey Ferguson for helping us take care of the horses. So we are so incredibly grateful. This tractor will serve the organization for years to come.
So we just had our new tractor delivered. This is a extremely nice tractor. We were, I guess, a little bit spoiled with the last one because it was automatic. This one is a manual. You have to put it in the gear like 3 different times before you can take off. I'm pretty excited about this one. The only downside is we don't have our backhoe anymore, but that's fine. We don't really ever use it unless we're digging a hole for a fire pit or something. So this is gonna fit our needs perfectly. This is gonna be exactly what we need to put hay out and lift pallets off of trucks and do all that fun stuff with. Gonna need some extensive training for employees that are gonna be operating this thing, just to make sure that they don't hurt themselves or the tractor. I'm pretty excited. I know Jason and Tanya are extremely excited too, and I'm sure when Keith pulls in and he sees it, he's gonna be extremely excited too.
So it's only Tuesday, but it feels like it's already been a crazy full week here at Horse Plus. We did 2 anesthetic procedures yesterday and took 20 horses. We had to get all of their samples processed and in the mail this morning. We have a bunch of donkeys that haven't been handled at all that have really horrible feet. So our team split into kind of med team and surgery team, and our med team is going to be taking radiographs and catching up on some of paperwork and other diagnostics and procedures, while another team of people does donkey castrations. So we'll see how it goes. It might be a total disaster. We haven't tried to do this before, but donkeys are a lot easier to work on when they're asleep on the ground with their feet. So we're gonna see if maybe we can get some of these really critical ones with awful feet under control today. And hopefully we'll get some castrations underway too. It's hot here, but thankfully we have shade. We have a great quarantine facility. I'm not moving these animals into our equine hospital because our general population animals are down here and it's not worth the transfer risk. Plus these are unhandled animals, so it's not like we can easily lead them on a trailer, lead them off a trailer into our surgery room. So hopefully everything goes well.
We are going to be castrating some animals today. We got a lot of stallions in yesterday, and they were all older and had behavioral issues and other health issues. We do have this 4-year-old stallion that we have in here today though. We're going to go ahead and lay him down and see if we can locate both of his testicles. I see one testicle down there for sure. So we'll just lay him down and try to find the other one.
I am giving a combination of xylazine and butorphanol. It's a sedative and an opiate type sedative pain medication. What a good boy. So this is his anesthesia pre-medication. I am putting SWAT on here. There are some people who only castrate animals in certain seasons. We don't have that luxury here. We're a horse rescue, and for this guy to get adopted out, he has to be castrated first. We use a product called Equispot, which is a Q2-week fly topical, but when I do castrations, I cover everything in SWAT. It is approved for use on wounds. But it also just helps make sure that the open wound, when we do equine castrations, we don't stitch the skin closed. It heals by second intention. And so this just makes sure it's not an attractive spot for flies.
If you want to see Bentley's castration or gelding procedure, please go to our YouTube channel, Horse Plus Vets, to watch it in more detail.
We just finished up Bentley's castration. We were worried that he was a cryptorchid, but we were able to find both testicles, which I'm thrilled about. He seems to be a really good boy with a good head on his shoulders. He's about... I'm just gonna stay here because I can't unlock. Oh, you're so late. We just finished up Bentley's castration. He's a super sweet 4-year-old, now gelding, and everything went great. It was very routine, and he's already in recovery. We were worried that he was going to be a cryptorchid because he only had one testicle visible, but thankfully we were able to find both without complication. This little donkey, hopefully, is not going to have severe rotation of his coffin bones. And we are going to take foot radiographs. Hopefully they'll be okay. Everything went great. We did a lot in one stall. I don't know how many people were in that stall. We had media team and vet team and horse handler and our farrier and the rest of our vet team taking radiographs, kind of all working on the same patient at one time. It went fantastically. I always like it when my anesthesia patients are like starting to move and wake up right when we're done, and we timed it perfectly, so all went well. He's been castrated. He did have some rotation, but he's young, and the donkeys that I know that have mild rotation have done better as long as they have appropriate management. So I'm optimistic for him.
So we have a Squatch in the chute right now. He does have some Dorm on board already, so we're just waiting a few more minutes, and we're gonna go ahead and give him some xylazine and butorphanol. And after 10 minutes with that on board, we're gonna go ahead and lay him down. Right now we're waiting on Squatch to get a little bit more sedated before we go ahead and give him the induction drugs. I believe we still have 4 or 5 minutes to go.
Went great. His feet look amazing. His castration went perfectly. I still have to wait another 5 or so minutes before I can take emasculators off. He's getting his back feet worked on, his front feet are done, and so far anesthesia's been perfect. So, yay. It's really helpful to have everybody in their role and not have to do a bunch of multitasking. Makes a huge difference.
We are all done up here. We are just waiting on him to wake up now, which should be any minute. We also have a donkey over there that we're waiting on to wake up. So I'm gonna be sitting up here and hanging out until they do that, and then I'm gonna figure out where they need to go.
I think we had 2 horses and 3 donkeys. Overall, everything went perfectly. We had 1 donkey that had a little bit of hemorrhage associated with one side, but that was pretty well managed, and he's doing well, and everybody is recovered or in recovery, and we're gonna pack up and head back down. I have a lot of drugs to log now. Dr. Gina's been trying to get us caught up on medical records and some of our other medical cases today down there. So today was a divide and conquer day, and we're about to head back down to our hospital.
Are you looking for a new horse or the perfect pet to join your family? Then go to horseplus.org and click on the options menu. Go to our adoptions tab and you can fill out an application. Here at Plus Humane Society, we rescue many animals of different species. So keep an eye out on our adoptions page and what is available, and you might find the perfect pet for you. Once we look at your application and approve it, that means you are approved to come out for an appointment. It does not mean that you are approved to adopt an animal. Once we meet you, we decide what animal would be the perfect fit for you.
Where you want me to put it at?
Let's just put it right here.
This one?
Yeah.
We have been asking for Amazon Prime Days that people can send chairs and tables for our education center. One of our donors just called, said, hey, I'm sending stuff. And this just pulled up, so we'll see what happens. Thank you so much. We've got 2 tables, and I know some other tables are coming in. I've asked for black tables because I think they look really nice in the education center, so we'll see. And if they're not black, that's okay. We will still embrace them.
We have a wonderful donor that called earlier, and I love happy people. She was just telling me how she wanted to make sure that we had the best. and she wanted something that was gonna put us over the top and we'd be able to spread out. So she ordered us 2 tables from Uline, and also she ordered us some chairs, but the chairs won't get here until Friday. So we'll be on the lookout for that. But she is just an awesome donor. We wanna thank Leslie so much for the table and the chairs.
So this morning we were able to give Chip and Sapphire some turnout time today. They've both been, she's running around. They've both been hospitalized since they came in through our buyout program. Both of them have pretty severe wounds and both of them are at a point where they're stable, they're off antibiotics. Sapphire is remarkably sound given the severity of her injuries. So these two have shared a fence line and have become friends, and so they're getting some turnout time in a small grassy paddock today.
Jason was giving all the guys a lesson on this tractor. Our other tractor was basically an automatic. This has 3 different, because it's more mechanical, 3 different things over here that have to be all in place for it to move. So being dyslexic like I am, I learn not more by listening but by doing. So after he was done showing all the guys, I'm like, I need a personal lesson, so I'm just going to turn it on and drive it around a few more times just so I can get it in my brain of how this works, because it's an amazing tractor, but it's a little more complicated than our other one. All right, I think I've got it. And thankfully the up and down and stuff, that's all the same. It's just, it's very important to know how to drive a stick shift vehicle, because this is like a triple stick shift vehicle. So it's helpful that I know how to do that. But yeah, amazing tractor. So gracious for Massey Ferguson and the dealership to work together to give us like a 50% discount. So it's just amazing. And this tractor is going to be definitely very well used for many, many years, and we are so incredibly grateful, and also grateful for those who also contributed for the difference that wasn't being donated. So we're so grateful.
This sweet, handsome boy is Kalahari. He came in through our buyout program in June, and he had this wound on the lateral aspect of his left hind leg. It looks pretty gnarly. We took in so many horses and had so many more critical cases that we're just now getting to his debridement operation today. Thankfully, he's stable. So unlike Sapphire and Cleopatra and Paolo, who had active infection, he looks like his body is actively trying to heal this, but you can see how proliferative this granulation tissue is. So on this side, his skin is effectively growing over it, and on this side, the wound isn't able to contract. So our plan for today is to surgically freshen these edges up and remove the bulky part of this, and then wrap the leg. Normally I do these under general anesthesia. This horse has been really lovely to work with and very calm, so I'm gonna try to place a ring block of lidocaine and see if we can do it standing. We may not be successful, and if we're not and it's unsafe, we're gonna move him to our large animal surgery room and do it under general anesthesia, but we're gonna try this first. Lidocaine, which is a quick acting numbing agent. It only lasts for about 30 minutes, but if this works, we won't even need that long. Lidocaine does burn initially. We just finished Kalahari's little proud flesh debridement procedure. It went great. Thankfully, we were able to do it just under standing sedation. You can see he's very, very sedated. I combined an alpha-2 sedative with an opiate type pain medication, so he's pretty groggy, and then we used a local block. We used lidocaine all the way around the affected area to numb it, so he didn't feel anything during the procedure. He lost a little bit of blood, but that's expected. Everything went great. I think his prognosis is excellent, And he was down for a dental, and he's still asleep enough for us to do his teeth, so we're gonna do that as well while he's asleep. Today, our vet team pulled Kalahari into our standing surgery room. He had a quick surgical procedure to remove some proud flesh or excessive granulation tissue from a wound on his leg. That all went really well. It was pretty quick and easy. He's had a bandage put on after that, and then we floated his teeth. He had a little bit of sharp points, but overall, I'm encouraged that his mouth is great, and I think he'll be, we don't know if he's broke to ride yet, but hopefully a wonderful horse for somebody. He's got a lovely personality, and he's a really good boy. Everything went great.
Good boy.
We're up here on the other side of Pasture 10, putting in a new pasture, new quarantine pasture. We got our new buyout next Tuesday, so we have to make some extra space for horses to come down, so we have room to accommodate everybody.
So we're up here on the back fence of the property. We're getting a soft quarantine pasture put together because we had so many different groups of horses that came in throughout this month. That way we can clear quarantine out for our buyout next week. And while we're doing that, we found this very interesting looking spider that's probably about that big around. And I have an app on my phone. You can take pictures of insects and plants and stuff like that. It'll tell you exactly what it is. So I took a picture of it, and it told me that it was a labyrinth spider, and it said it was venomous on my app. However, when I searched the labyrinth spider in Google, it showed me that it in fact is not harmful to humans, but it has a cousin that lives in Australia that is one of the most deadly spiders in the world.
Good luck, Jordan.
Can't get nothing done around here.
So far, so good. We just need to find, well, I'd say probably 20 to 30 more panels. I'm gonna lean towards 30 just to get this done. It's gonna be a nice big area for another soft quarantine pen. It's actually gonna be a little bit bigger than the other soft quarantine pen that we have over there right now. So now we just gotta go and hunt down a few panels to use. Typically, you're only supposed to have a straw hat for one season, 1 year, and then you're supposed to get a new one. I've had this for about 4 or 5 years now. We are almost there. We're gonna go around. There's a few areas in some of the pastures that we could probably take a few panels out of if we just straightened it up a little bit. So Jordan is gonna be working over there on that, trying to get it figured out. And I'm gonna go over this way and see if there's any more panels over there we could take. We're done!
You're done!
Go team! So the pasture is completely done now. We just gotta fill this water trough up, throw a hay bale in that feeder. Yeah, I'm gonna run the horses down here in a minute, but I doubt they're gonna touch the hay in the feeder because they're probably gonna eat all this down first. But we'll still have it there for when they're ready.
Reach down and pull.
Today I have Mercy. She's the horse I've been working on for this training competition Corey has us doing. So I chose Mercy because she's kind of the most wild out of the group, I guess. She's more skittish, but so far she's been doing good. We've got her figured out how to lead. We were able to put a shorter lead rope on her without her being too scared. She still has a hard time being haltered and caught, but other than that, she did pretty good. And we did get a saddle on her yesterday just to see how she reacts to the pressure, and she did pretty good. She didn't spook at all. The Clementine, we were able to get a saddle on her. She stands for the farrier, so she's well on her way to becoming a good saddle horse. So I'm just gonna have her lunge for me, which is basically just have her run in a circle, just kind of exercise her. I'm using the lunge whip not to, of course, whip her with it. I'm just using it to apply pressure, just so she knows that when she does see this, it means to pick up speed. This is helping desensitize her just from a lot of things like swinging around her, just trying to make her as uncomfortable as possible so when she does have a rider on her, she doesn't really spook at anything. But yeah, so far she's been really, really good for this, despite her being scared of people. But most horses will start like jerking or jumping or like trying to back up, but she'll just stand there and take it. She's a pretty smart little girl. So today I finished up training Mercy a little bit more, just trying to work with her every day. And today she did pretty good. I got a saddle on her, ran her around a couple times. She did not buck at all. We practiced the ball and tart with desensitizing, and she stood completely still for all of it. She's really well behaved. We've worked on picking up her feet. She's really good at that. So she's pretty smart. So she's got a good head on her shoulders.
We've got the septic tank guys here today putting in our septic tank for our staff housing. So we are quite excited today to have that going on. Wanted to give you a quick update on the shelter staff housing. Wanted to tell you that we got the septic tank put in today. Everything's looking good. The tank is actually in. We do have a little bit more work to do the following week, and we are just trying to beat the rain. So stay tuned for more updates. We are quite excited to see Bruiser going to his new place, which is the rescue in Kentucky. And little Bruiser is going to be going to an adoption. If you're interested in adopting a new pet or horse or cat, come see us at Horse Plus here in Hohenwald, Tennessee.
You guys have heard me talk for weeks and months about how frustrating it is to have a very old ultrasound. We haven't been able to do accurate pregnancy checks. We're doing the best we can. But we also have been really limited in our ability to diagnose soft tissue. We really, really needed to upgrade our ultrasound system, and we had an incredible donor who helped us raise the funds for this. It's very advanced technology, and I haven't set it up yet, but I'll show you guys. So we have two different setups. One is for rectal imaging, and this is for pregnancy checks. And one is for kind of everything else. And both of these little units can do everything that we need them to do and more. So Edge Life is also helping send us a boarded radiologist. She's actually a colleague I've known for many years, and she's incredible at what she does. So on Monday, we're gonna be seeing a bunch of patients. This is their 3-in-1 ultrasound. So you can see there's 2 different probes on either side. And this is the whole ultrasound. It communicates wirelessly to an iPad. So when we do pregnancy checks, we're going rectally with this one. And when we're doing musculoskeletal, we're gonna be using one of these 2 sides. This little handy wrist wrap is so that we don't drop this unit. So this looks really small and unexciting, but what it can do is really incredible. I actually had the opportunity to try this with the radiologist a couple months ago. And it's amazing the crisp detail and the penetration depth and the image quality that we can get with these 2. This is the probe for this one. So you can see how nice and streamlined that is. This is what we'll be able to do imaging internally with, and this is for external. So cannot contain my excitement, but obviously with such an incredibly expensive piece of equipment, we're gonna do all of the setup correctly. I have a meeting set up to do that tomorrow, and we'll be ready to treat patients by Monday.
We are having a great Amazon Prime Day for the last day of Amazon Prime Day, and we want to thank our Horse Plus supporters for looking at all of these amazing packages over here. And thanks to our Horse Plus supporters and fans, you have supported Horse Plus with all of these packages. So thank you, Horse Plus fans, and we are getting ready to do a package opening.
An adopter has arrived.
Yeah, she is broke to ride. She is a little on the slower side, so she'd be good just to get back into riding. So she does walk and trot, but it's pretty much.
She is big.
Yeah, she's a big baby. And then Leonora is 1 year and 2 months, so she's actually younger than Mercy.
Okay.
As you can see, she's a lot bigger.
Yeah. And she is friendly.
Yeah, she's a big baby. We believe she's part Arabian quarter horse. That explains her cute little head. She is, we have her ranked as other, but we're thinking quarter horse too.
Okay.
Just by her little size. But one thing about Galeo that we like is behind you. Don't kick her. Yeah, she's never really offered to kick, so. But one thing about her is if you hook behind her chin, she'll follow you.
Oh, okay.
When she wants. Come on.
She said, I want to get to know them more.
Come on. You gonna walk? Come on, Galeo. Come on. Yeah, there she is.
Aww.
Yeah, she will follow you.
She's a good girl. Yeah.
2 red ones in the field way out there. The one with the short black mane.
Oh, okay.
That's Crixus. He is. Everyone makes fun of me because I'm trying to work on barrels with him. But he's a Tennessee Walker, so he's extremely gated. So everyone just laughs because he like shuffles around. I'm currently gonna go grab Galeo for the potential adopters. They are looking for a young horse that's under saddle. So I offered to show them Galeo. So we're gonna go pull Galeo and the adopter is gonna kind of get on her, learn how she feels, and we possibly might get Galeo and Pollyanna home today. I went and grabbed Fancy for the adopters. So they want a nice horse that's gonna be a possible barrel prospect. And they want something that's broke, but pretty intermediate level. So I pulled out Galeo and Fancy because these are probably the best 2 options that suit our adopters right now. So we're just showing them off, letting them see how they feel, how they adjust to the adopter and everything. So hopefully it goes good. So today our adopters agreed on adopting just Fancy today, but they said they'll probably hopefully be back for maybe Galeo or Pollyanna later on in the future, but looks like today Fancy got her forever home.
My name is Brianna. What brought me here is I used to ride horses as a child. I grew up riding horses bareback, but I stopped once I became a teenager. And I just wanted to get back into it. My dad has been riding my whole entire life and he has horses and I wanted one of my own now that I'm older. I was very interested in Pollyanna, but I don't think she's ready just yet to go home with me. But I do hope to come back and get her, but I ended up going with Fancy and I love her.
What was the new discovery we just made?
The new discovery, I will also be taking home Sprite today.
Oh my goodness, that is so amazing.
It is.
So what made you think of Sprite as well?
Sprite is so young, and I just know that I can grow to love her and she'll grow up older, and it'll be better having her with someone that she's already comfortable with and been around before, and just growing old with me.
The adopters that came out today to originally look at Pollyann fell in love with Fancy and surprisingly Sprite. So even though Sprite is in with our training challenge, Sprite will be going home today along with Fancy, so they will both be enjoying their new home.